All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 1. Giancarlo and Harry on the front row. Adam Barker, Simon Zierk on the second row. Max Gunther and Mike Marshall have the third row. Rudolph Gunther rounding out the field. Kevin, I have to drink my coffee black. I've never had sugar in it. Drivers roll out for the pace lap. And you can see from our track map, this thing is going to get exciting. A lot of tight turns and a lot more Porsches in the field. In fact, only 2 drivers this morning not in a Porsche. Simon Zierk in his usual BMW and Mike Marshall in his Corvette. As we have pointed all season long, that Porsche definitely seems to have a handling advantage. Hey, good morning, Sketch. Or afternoon, I guess, for you. Remember, no broadcast tonight. We will have something fun going on. Not sure what yet. Tomorrow, midday, we will be convoying. Sounds like, from the drivers I've spoke to, there will be a big convoy. We will have quite a few out on the road tomorrow. Looking at the track, 2.85 miles around the track. The track temperature is dropping a little bit. It is now down to 109. It was as high as 113 in practice. How can you not love a free day off, Kevin? Here we go. The driver's headed toward the final turn. The pace car will hit pit road. Giancarlo in control of the start. The pace car ducks to pit road. And Giancarlo is away. Green flag is in the air at the Algarve. A lot of battling through these first few turns. Everybody trying to settle in. Harry Volsmir, Adam Barker trying to reel in Giancarlo as they come up the hill. A very Porsche dominant field this morning. Hey, good morning, Ants. How you feeling? Well, Sketch, yes I will. Despite this being a shorter track, just 2.8 miles, the lap times are a bit longer due to how tight some of these corners are. We'll take a look at speeds here in a little bit, but it is definitely an interesting track for these drivers. Hey, thank you for the bit sketch. Out of the final turn, Giancarlo will lead lap number 1. Oh, Simon way wide out of that final turn. Likely going to have a slowdown that will allow Max to close back up. Ants, I imagine you're probably going to feel that way for a while, buddy. No problems on the first lap. An interesting start. We usually have some excitement on that first lap. Into that sharp hairpin. Definitely reminds you of Catalunya, the way that hairpin is laid out. And this track does have quite a bit of elevation change. Also, some pretty big sausages in some of those turns, making cutting those apexes. You got to be careful. Get as close as you possibly can without touching them. Giancarlo already 1.7 seconds ahead of Harry. Adam right on Harry's bumper. Simon back at 4. Team Gunther holds 5th and 6th at the moment. Mike Marshall in 7th. Surprisingly, though, the Corvette managing to stay with the field. And we did find out this week a new BMW is coming to iRacing for GT3s. I suspect we will see Simon in that car next season. Might see quite a few drivers in it. Giancarlo has the fastest lap right now, 144.01. Could very soon see him break the 144 mark. Kevin, there's only a few tracks out there where the turtles are actually helpful, and yeah, the rest of them are just terrible. Giancarlo has checked out for the moment, but don't forget there will be a full field invert going into race number 2. Whoa! Giancarlo looking a little sketchy through that turn. As we mentioned, the track temps have been a bit warm this morning. It's currently down to 108. But all the drivers talked about during practice was how hot the track was and how much of a struggle, with many drivers saying they would rather have rain than the hot track here. Also, don't forget, make sure you're following on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. Some big announcements coming over the next week. Some really big surprises coming. Max Gunther has reeled Simon back in. Will he have the speed to get past? Lap time's definitely starting to slow, though. Giancarlo last time by 144.01, as we mentioned. This time by 145.25. Mike Marshall has had a problem back behind. We talked about these tight corners, and there you go. Just breaks loose at the apex. Quickly recovers, but loses a ton of ground on the field. I completely understand, Ants. Kevin, I have yet to drive this track. I need to do that this week. I can see this track is definitely, as mentioned, it's a slick one. Max Gunther right on the bumper of Simon's ear. With Rudolph Gunther right behind. If Max can get through, he may open the door for Rudolph. Ants, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. At least glad you're recovering, though. After all those years, even with the pain you have now, it's got to be great to know that you're finally going to get some relief eventually. Giancarlo's lead continuing to grow now, 2.6 seconds over Harry. Championship winner, the new champ, well, the repeat champ, Adam Barker, sits in third. Simon Zierk back at fourth, definitely wants to keep Max behind him. Those two are battling for second in the points. Max currently in second. And Giancarlo out for a Sunday drive, continuing to pull away. Looks like Giancarlo has settled into a bit of a rhythm, running about 145.3 to 145.5. Still faster than the majority of the field. Harry still holds on to second, Barker in third. This battle's still on for fourth place. Max starts to look. He's looking to the inside as they go down the straightaway. Heading off into that hairpin. Max has the run, and he is going to clear out of the hairpin. Max now to 4th place. This track obviously not easy to overtake, and Rudolf Gunther could not get in position to take advantage of Max's pass. Adam Barker continuing to close up as Rudolph battling. Whoa! Rudolph takes the position from Simon. Simon now back to 6th. Max in 4th, but 6.5 seconds behind Adam Barker in 3rd. Giancarlo's lead now over 4 seconds. And it looks like Simon had an off track during that battle. Let's take a quick look. Simon coming down the hill, hits the apex, gets a little squirrely, goes off, slows her down, gets back up, but it was just too little too late. And so I can only begin to imagine, buddy, that has to be a big change. Rudolf Gunther headed up the hill, now in 5th, trying to run down Max in 4th. Max not gaining any ground on Adam Barker. Adam still within striking distance of Harry Volsmere. And Giancarlo just continuing to check out, almost 5 seconds now over Harry. This track is definitely twisty, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. A lot of elevation changes can upset the cars. This is the kind of track it was definitely made for the Porsche. Giancarlo's lead now 5.25 seconds as he continues to pull away. Mike Marshall back in 7th after his incident, did just set his fastest lap. And last time by was faster than Simon, was faster than a couple of other drivers. Mike definitely trying to get that Punisher car back in the fight, but as of right now, going into race 2, he will have the advantage of starting on the pole. Hey, good morning, Kevin. Or Kevin A, rather. forgot there's two Kevins watching. I gotta be specific here. Barker has gotten right to the back bumper of Harry Volsmere. Does Adam have anything left to make the move on Harry? It's unlikely we see Harry make a mistake this late in the race. Adam has already locked up the championship, so he is just racing for a win. In the middle of race 2, we'll take a ride along with one of the drivers around this track. You see the massive elevation changes and all the tight turns here. Definitely a handful for the drivers. Adam Barker has finally got past into second over Harry. There's Adam following Harry down through the final turns. And oh! Harry gets way loose. Gets it gathered up, and he lost a ton of momentum. And a heartbreak for Harry. He was having a great run. Harry's still holding on to third at the moment. Max Gunther in fourth, did close the gap on Harry dramatically, but it is unlikely he'll have the time to catch him and make a move. As the white flag flies for Giancarlo, his lead almost 8 seconds now over Barker. Harry still holding on to third. Max Gunther has gained a lot of time in the last lap. He is less than 3 seconds behind Harry. He gained over 3 seconds in the last lap. Does he have the time? Could he pull it off? Max still gaining on Harry. Rudolph back in 5th. Simon in 6th. Mike Marshall in 7th. Marshall has been getting faster and faster every lap. His second race could be interesting. Giancarlo back down the hill, headed to the penultimate corner. And into the final turn for Giancarlo one last time. Giancarlo goes into that final turn with an 8.5 second lead, and out of the final turn, Giancarlo will get the win in race 1 at the Algarve. Adam Barker, your new champ, comes home in second, and Harry Volsmere holds on for third. Drivers getting ready to go out for warm-up. We did have a new camera set for this morning, and we're hoping it would look good, but this is your scenic one. So hopefully we get a driver out on track very quickly so you guys can actually see something other than a black screen. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. My apologies, it just is. New camera packs have a tendency to get a little weird. Alright, let's talk to our top three, starting with Harry. Harry, congratulations. Despite problems late in the race, you still held on to finish in third.
Yeah, that's okay. I lost him.
Honestly, watching you drift it through that final turn and then gather it back up was an impressive save here this morning.
Yeah, I was happy I could catch it, but, well, it happened.
Well, I know the track has been hot and lacking grip. Still a great save and a great finish. Congratulations, Harry.
Thank you, Doug.
Harry Volsmere comes home in third. Adam Barker finishes in second. Adam, you're the champ. We knew it coming into this morning, but still a second place finish. Will you have anything this morning for Giancarlo?
I don't know. He is pretty quick around here, so it's going to be an interesting one. It was a really good first race there. Giancarlo got away a little bit with me and with me fighting, and luckily I was able to mind punt Harry out of the way. I nearly lost it myself trying to get around him, but. Yeah, really interesting race. Good race as well.
It's definitely going to be interesting. It was obviously a struggle to pass here, and it looks like going with the full field invert, you're really going to have some work to do.
Yeah, it is interesting. Trying to follow through that last corner is quite slippy anyway. So following someone through there, even less aero, the rear really wants to step out. So it's quite hard. And then you've got that whole long straight to catch back up, so it's a hard one. We'll have to see if we can nab some places early on, but it's all about that finesse on the throttle.
Well, good luck, a great run so far this morning.
Well, thank you very much. Looking for the win this time.
Hope so. And finally, our winner, Giancarlo. Giancarlo, another week, another win, and a great job this morning.
Yeah, thanks. It was very much a balancing act of trying to keep the pace and trying to keep the tires alive. Next race is going to be the same thing.
Well, I have to say the track temperature has dropped throughout the session. I mean, it was 10 degrees or more hotter during practice than it is right now. So it's definitely cooling off. Can you feel it out here during warm-up?
ever so slightly. It's still very, very warm, and this is just very harsh. This track is very harsh on the left side tires, so it's still going to be, especially this last corner, a take it easy, don't do anything hasty, and find a rhythm.
Well, man, another win. A great job. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug.
As Giancarlo pulls off the win as warm-up coming to a close, we get ready to go into race 2. They will have to make a fuel stop, and the full field invert will put that man, Mike Marshall, on the pole. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race 2 at the Algarve. Mike Marshall and Simon Zierk on the front row. Then it's nothing but Porsches behind Rudolf Gunther and Max Gunther on the second row. Harry Volsmir and Adam Barker have the third row. And Giancarlo tail into the field after winning race 1. Adam Barker starting back in 6th. Remember, Adam did win the championship as of last week, his 5th championship in NSS competition. And they will be recruiting heavily going into the next season, so make sure you're watching for that. We'll be sharing the information as well. Hopefully we'll see some of you guys out here racing soon. We mentioned the track temperature cooling down and is now down to 99. A full 14 degrees cooler than what they practiced in. That temperature dropping will give those left sides a little bit more grip. Looking down from the How to Suck at iRacing blimp. You can see from the blimp, you see just how tight these turns really are. Hopefully some of the rubber they laid down in race 1, warm-up, and qualifying, as well as practice, will help with the grip, plus the cooler track temperature is going to be a dramatic, have a dramatic effect. It is about 10 degrees cooler than it was in race 1. Mike Marshall, Simon Zierk out front, Mike in the Corvette. Simon in the BMW, the rest of the field, all Porsches this morning. Don't forget, we will not have a broadcast. Both BRR and SMR are off tonight for the Labor Day holiday in the U.S., but we will find a way to entertain you folks. Maybe we'll do some more drag racing. Who knows? Might start something new. You just never know what the Unicorn and I will come up with. Porsche pace car heads to pit road. Mike Marshall in control of the start. He is going to fire. They are away. Green flag flies at the Algarve. Here we go toward turn one. Everybody makes it through successfully. Simon trying to hold on to second, but Max on the high side. Rudolph has had a problem back behind. Max looks like he will clear into second. Adam Barker already up to fourth. Giancarlo up to sixth on Harry's bumper. Simon tried to look to the inside on Max going through the turn. Adam almost got the run from behind. Mike Marshall still holding on to the lead as they do a little battling back behind. Well, Simon, big run into the turn. Had to adjust to not get into Max's bumper. Adam is able to take advantage. Simon managing to power out and hold on to third, at least for the moment. Giancarlo did attempt an attack on Harry, but could not get it. Whoa, Max, they are cutting that as much as possible through that final turn. And Mike Marshall will lead lap one. Adam Barker takes third as Max tries to go to the outside on Mike. Simon back to the inside. Simon takes back third. With this full field invert, things have really heated up. Remember, very few of these drivers battling for points this morning. It is all out, everybody out for the win. And it definitely shows. See if we can take a quick look at what happened to Rudolf Gunther on lap one. Rudolph heads off into turn one. Might have had a little contact with Harry. He goes around. And Mike Marshall has had a problem. Mike in the lead. Goes a bit wide, tries to cut it. And just spins it. Adam finds him. That little bump has set our champ back to fifth place. And Barker is coming to pit road. He needs repairs. Mike Marshall having problems getting on pit road. See if we can get a view of Mike from the chopper. After that incident, him and Adam both needing repairs. He just gets a bit wide. Gets the grass, bangs the wall, but maintains momentum. He'll get the car repaired. He is back out on track. Meanwhile, Max Gunther out front. Simon Zierk still holding on to second, but Rudolf Gunther had that problem on lap 1. Just set the fastest lap. Not only was it the fastest lap, he is the only driver so far under the 146 mark. He ran a 145.58. For reference, Max's fastest lap, 146.88. Rudolph 1.3 seconds faster last time by. Giancarlo has made his way up into fourth, all over Harry's back bumper. Harry grabs that inside line. They both shoot under Simon, and Giancarlo has a run on Harry. Can't hold it. Harry holds him. Harry Volsmere now into second place. What a move. Max Gunther has pulled a 2 1/4 second lead. Giancarlo trying to make a move and take second place. Harry went extremely wide. Simon almost took third. While Max Gunther runs away, second, third, and fourth continue to battle non-stop. Rudolf Gunther back in fifth after that lap 1 incident. Picking up some ground. He is up to fifth and closing the gap. He was over 10 seconds behind. Has now closed that gap to 7 1/4. Rudolph not out of this yet, especially if he can make up some time on pit road. Max Gunther set his fastest lap last time by 145.89, still slower than his dad. I have to wonder if Rudolph is driving a bit angry after that early incident. Meanwhile, Giancarlo in second place is reeling in the leader, Max Gunther. Harry Volsmere back in third, losing ground on the top two, but still pulling a gap on fourth place, Simon Zierk. And we said we'd take a ride with one of these drivers out of this final turn. We are going to hop on board with second place, Giancarlo. You hear him feathering it through the final turn. Carries the momentum wide down that long straightaway. Trying to close up, get into the slipstream. Max just set the fastest lap of the race. They go off into turn one. all the way down to first for turn 2. Then uphill left-hander. Carry as much momentum onto the short straightaway. Then back downhill into the hairpin. Whoa, little bobble out of the rear tires as he gets on the power. Right on the bumper of Max. Through the 2 right-hand turns. This track has more rights than lefts, and all the right-hand turns are almost all the right-hand turns are very tight, just abusing those left side tires. Tries to cut the apex and get back on extra early. Giancarlo looking for any way around Max Gunther. Left-hander uphill into a downhill right-hander. Then back on the power for the short run into the wide sweeping right-hand final turn. And back onto the front straightaway to the start-finish line. Giancarlo did that lap in 1:44.75, the fastest lap we have seen this morning. Max Gunther, the lap before, had set the fast lap at a 1:45.14. As Giancarlo looks to the outside. Giancarlo still trying to get the run set up for the pass. That is allowing Harry to close back in. Simon back in fourth, continues to lose ground. Rudolf Gunther in fifth, also losing ground after a very hard charge. Adam Barker in sixth, the champ, trying to close back up after his incident with seventh place Mike Marshall. Hey, good morning, Cowboy. Thank you, buddy. Giancarlo setting up again. Can he get the run into turn one? Max goes low. Giancarlo to the high side. Not enough yet. Meanwhile, Harry closing in extremely fast is now just 1.3 seconds back. Adam Barker 21 seconds behind fifth place Rudolf Gunther. Last time by he was 3 seconds faster than Rudolf. Almost 4 seconds faster actually. Don't forget they will need a stop for fuel. And I suspect everybody will take tires this morning just due to the amount of abuse those left sides are taking. The track temperature continuing to fall as it gets later in the day. The temperature has dropped 3 degrees since the start of race 2. Harry back in third, still trying to close the gap on the top two. The slightest bit of battling for the lead will... Oh! Max goes wide. Giancarlo back to the bumper. Harry's still lurking, about 1.3 back. Giancarlo right there in second place, and Harry is there. He is in striking distance. He is less than a second behind Giancarlo and gaining. This is about to become a three-car battle for the lead. After the problems for Harry in race one, you know he wants to finish this season off with the win. He ran second place through the entire first race until the second to last lap. Still managed a podium finish, but he knew he could win and may get a shot, as Max doing everything he can to keep Giancarlo behind. That time by down the straightaway, they actually pulled a couple of tenths on Max, but Max definitely closing the gap through the twisty bits. Max and Giancarlo nose to tail. Simon back and forth. Needs a little bit of help to close the gap on the top three. Simon continuing to lose ground, now 4.5 seconds back. Rudolf Gunther in fifth was closing that gap on Simon, but has started to lose a lot of ground. Meanwhile, Adam continuing to chomp away at the gap. Adam back in sixth place, 18 seconds behind Rudolph, but consistently 2 to 3 seconds faster. And Giancarlo to the outside through turn one. Giancarlo has the lead for the moment. Max has the advantage on the inside, and Harry Volsmir is there. It's now a three-car battle for the lead. Giancarlo trying again. Just cannot get past Giancarlo. Definitely has the better run out of the turn. Harry now right there with them, trying to take advantage. Any mistake that happens ahead of him, he will be able to pounce. The top three all within about a second of each other. Simon Zierk back and forth, starting to gain ground as they battle ahead. Is still 4.4 seconds back. The BMW does have the advantage on the two straightaways, but loses a lot of ground to the Porsches as Giancarlo goes to the lead. See how Giancarlo pulled this one off. Oh, Max goes really wide through turn one. Giancarlo perfectly positioned, quickly shoots to the lead. The first mistake we have seen out of Max all morning. And Giancarlo, now in the lead, begins to pull away from Max. Harry holds third right on Max's bumper. Now that the battle is over, Simon starts to lose ground again. As we approach the halfway point, remember they will have to stop for fuel. And Giancarlo just set the fastest lap, 1:44.03. That is the fastest lap we have seen all morning. Max Gunther. Max Gunther's fast lap last time, 1:46.21. And Harry right behind in third, 1:45.7. Harry may very well take second place back in the near future. Simon back in fourth, 5.5 seconds back. Rudolph in fifth, 12.25 seconds back. And Adam Barker in sixth continues to close in, 14.5 seconds back and closing rapidly. Mike Marshall back in seventh. After the early incident between him and Barker, he is almost 30 seconds back. A heartbreak for Mike, considering how good of a run he started with. And Giancarlo has broken the 145 barrier. He just ran a 144.63. 0.8 of a second faster than Max on that lap, opening up to over 2 seconds. Harry sits in third, still all over Max Gunther's bumper. Simon Zier currently sits in fourth, Rudolph Gunther in fifth, Barker in sixth, Mike Marshall in seventh. Now the question becomes, Giancarlo, can he go any faster, or has he used the tires up? And will he be able to beat his own lap times once he puts some fresh rubber on that Porsche? Track temperature continuing to drop. Already down 5 degrees from where they started, down to 94. Air temperature has also come down to 79, helping those engines run just a little better. Max Gunther has started to pull a gap on third place Harry Volsmir. Harry had run him down, but was not able to hang with him, and has allowed Simon, who is 5.5 seconds back, to start closing just a little bit. Don't forget, folks, next Sunday morning we will be off. 2 weeks from today, we will be back with the new season, new drivers, the old favorites. It's definitely going to be a great season. If you're interested in joining, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We will have recruitment stuff posted. Adam Barker now less than 10 seconds behind Rudolph. Just past the halfway point, we should start seeing drivers to pit road very soon. Harry back in third, was losing ground on the top 2. Simon was closing in, but Simon has started to lose ground to Harry, now 6.5 seconds back. Giancarlo comes across, does not come to pit road. Max Gunther gives up second. He heads in. Harry is going to stay out and take over second place. Simon stays out. Will Rudolph Gunther come in this time? Yes, he does. Both members of Team Gunther on pit road. And it does look like tires are being changed. Rudolph hits his pit stall. He will get tires as well. Will Max undercutting Giancarlo give him any kind of advantage? Will he be able to close the gap? Max back out there on fresh tires. Giancarlo still on his original set. Harry Volsmere had a problem a moment ago and lost a lot of ground to the leader, as it looks like Giancarlo is coming in. There's Harry coming through. Into that up. Whoa! Back in, just breaks loose. Those old tires starting to give up the grip. Harry Volsmere is on pit road, as well as Simon Zierk. Adam Barker is going to stay out. Remember, Adam and Mike Marshall both pitted on lap 2 due to the early incident. Looks like both of them did tank a little bit of fuel. Trying to stretch that fuel. Giancarlo comes out in second and now has a 5.6 second lead on Max. Harry back in fourth. Simon still on pit road. It looks like Simon got a penalty. It looks like Simon Zierk got a speeding penalty on his way in. He is being held. Now he's away. That is definitely going to help everybody that was behind Simon. That'll be a huge help to Adam Barker as well. Now, will Adam Barker come in this time? Adam and Mike Marshall, the only two to have not pitted yet. Adam swings wide. He is not coming in. Mike Marshall a few turns away from pit road. Adam continuing to stay out, has a 2 1/4 second lead on Giancarlo. Max Gunther in third, 6 seconds behind Giancarlo. The champ staying out to lead a few laps, see if he can extend the fuel and the tires. Maybe pick up some positions through strategy. Max Gunther set his fastest lap last time by 1:45.01. Max has still not broken the 1:45 barrier. Giancarlo in second currently is the only driver under the 1:45 mark. Adam Barker's lead on those old tires is shrinking as Giancarlo comes up to speed. The gap now just 1.1 seconds. I can't imagine Adam staying out any longer. I would expect to see, yep, Adam is setting up for pit road entry. He is in. Likely to see Mike Marshall in this time as Giancarlo sets the fastest lap of the morning. 1:44.33. Mike Marshall is in. Giancarlo reclaims the lead and has a 6.3 second lead over Max Gunther. Harry Volsmir in third. Rudolf Gunther now to fourth, and Adam Barker back into fifth. Mike Marshall on pit road just dropped to seventh as Simon came by to pick up sixth. A heartbreak for Simon with that pit road penalty. Max Gunther set his fastest lap last time by, and finally under the 145 mark, he ran a 144.55. Still a quarter second off the leader. Giancarlo continuing to try and pull that gap even bigger. Harry Volsmir in third has got to find some more speed. He is still running about 146 dead. Now, based on his lap times, he probably has the most consistent laps out there. Rudolf Gunther set his fastest lap just a couple laps ago, 145.58. Last time by, 145.9. Adam Barker back in fifth is closing the gap though. 3.5 seconds behind Rudolph. He has been closing that gap ever since that early pit stop when he had problems. Mike Marshall is back on pit road. Looks like he had an incident a few moments ago. Let's take a look. This is Mike shortly after coming off pit road. Car gets loose. Looks like he might have gotten too much of the rumble strips. Gets the car back down on the track. Did not appear to have any damage. Mike is back out on track. Looks like he may have changed out the tires after that drift. Max Gunther continuing to lose. Well, no, he has gained a little bit of ground on Giancarlo. Now just 5.5 seconds back. Adam Barker has gained another second on Rudolf Gunther. Now just 2.5 seconds back. Does he have enough time? Rudolf Gunther currently runs in fourth. Harry Volsmir in third. Mike Marshall, who started up front, now back in seventh after that early incident with Adam Barker. He has had to take multiple extra pit stops today. Adam continuing to close in on Rudolph Gunther for fourth. Giancarlo still has the lead. Max Gunther in second. And it does look like Max will lock up second in points. Simon Zierk, after problems here in that pit road penalty, will come on third in points. Giancarlo will be fourth. Andrew Lau looks like will come home in fifth. Mike Marshall will move up to sixth in points. Barker continuing to close in on Rudolph Gunther. Rudolph just set his fastest lap, 145.55, but Adam 0.3 of a second faster. And Adam Barker just set his fastest lap, 144.82, as Simon Zierk has had a problem. So, same place we saw Mike Marshall have problems a few laps ago. The back end just stepping out. He gathers her up, gets her going, but not before losing a lot of time. Giancarlo continues to pull away, but Adam Barker has caught up to Rudolph Gunther. He has caught up to Rudolph. Can he find a way around? He's got just over 6.5 minutes to go. Meanwhile, Giancarlo extending his lead to 6 3/4 seconds over Max. Harry not gaining any ground on Max, but not losing any to Rudolph, as here comes Barker. Adam Barker flashing the lights at Rudolph, doing anything he can to distract him. Any advantage he can get here. Adam trying to look to the outside. Adam has had one heck of a season, but one thing he has been unable to do all season long is win the second race. He will not win today. but definitely wants to pick that position up, as Mike Marshall has had a problem. There's Mike in the Corvette, same turn as before. Back in this time, just stepping out. He took it wider to avoid the rumble strips. That turn has caught several drivers this morning. Adams still all over the back bumper of Rudolph. He caught him, but will he be able to get past? Rudolph definitely pushing the car as hard as possible, trying to hold on to that position. Meanwhile, Giancarlo coming around one more time. His lead now almost 8 seconds. What a run this morning for Giancarlo as the white flag flies. And Giancarlo will sweep again this morning. That will be his 4th sweep of the season. These two know only one more lap to go. Adam Barker has to do everything he possibly can to get by. I guarantee you Rudolph's going to be driving in the mirror. Meanwhile, Giancarlo coming over the top of the hill, heads back down to the final sector. Out of the penultimate corner toward the final turn, Giancarlo, for the 4th time this season, will pull off the sweep. Giancarlo wins again at Algarve. Max Gunther comes home in 2nd. And Harry Volsmir headed for 3rd as Barker has taken 4th. Harry pulls off another podium finish. Adam last lap pass to take 4th and secure the title. And let's talk to our top 3, starting with Harry. Harry, congratulations. No better way to finish the season than 2 podiums this morning.
Yeah, it is. I forgot to change tires, so I'm happy.
Wow. Well, it still worked out for you despite being on the old tires, and you were still putting down some really good laps.
Yeah, taking it easy.
Well, it definitely worked. A great move. Congratulations.
Thanks, Luke.
Harry Volsmir comes home 3rd. Max Gunther finishes in 2nd. Max, definitely a valiant effort and some really fast laps out there this morning.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great battle with Giancarlo when he was behind me, but yeah, I just did one big mistake, and yeah, he took advantage of it. It was great.
Well, you definitely had the incident. You went a little bit wide, but man, up until that moment, it looked like you were the only driver to hold him off.
Yeah, it was fun. It was hard, but yeah, it was great. It was great. It was a great race. It was really fun. I'm sweating. I'm good.
I can
That's
imagine.
perfect.
Great run this morning. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
And finally, our winner, Giancarlo. Giancarlo, the fourth time this season you have pulled off the sweep.
Yeah, there was some great battling that race between me and Simon and Max and Harry. Definitely a very fun race too.
And it definitely, the battle between you and Max, Harry catches up. Things got really interesting there. Had it not been for the mistake that Max made, would you have been able to make the move to take the lead?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it might have happened in the pits with some fuel saving, but it's pretty tough to pass here.
It definitely was, and man, he made you work for it. That's for sure. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
And a quick word with our new champ, Adam. It is official now. Obviously, your fifth championship, man. It has been one heck of a season, but you still have the monkey on your back. You did not win a second race all season.
Yeah, couldn't quite seem to get a feature race under wraps, but yeah, a little bit unlucky with the second lap incident. Caught me a little off guard and broke something in the car, so I had to do an extra pit stop. When I came out, I could see that Rudolph was about 24 or so seconds ahead of me, so I meant if I was a second quicker than him every lap, I could have caught him, and then forced him into a mistake on the last lap, which was good. Got my fourth, so a good recovery drive.
Well, great job and congratulations, another championship. Great job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, can't wait for next season.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Adam Barker gets the championship once again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, no broadcast tonight, but we will do something fun. Wait and see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you later today. Have a great night, everybody.